There's a big shift there.
Did I have anything?
Looks like just one.
Okay, good. Oh, I love this one.
Monsters.
Hey, Mike, look, we got monsters. Monsters Inc. One of my favorite
Monsters
movies.
Inc. Monsters Inc. I would say is
one of the best movies ever.
One of the best. I really love that one. Monsters University, still good, not as good as Monsters Inc.
No.
Yeah, it's a great one. I really like that one a lot.
But like a continuation of the story, right? A little bit of backstory and everything is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've got this across. I own a coffee shop downtown, and so across the road is an old finance building for the government, which has these pillars and everything. It's been for lease forever. It doesn't have an entrance out the back, which supposedly is important for a lot of businesses. You can't legally have that if you don't have an exit out the rear.
Okay, sure.
So, but I love the building, and I affectionately call it my Monsters University building.
Oh yeah, because of the way it's.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what we could do? We could do like a comic book collective in there, and you know, I don't know. This is the other thing. So Monsters moves on to money, because you can't like these stores that are downtown that are owned. The buildings are owned by the people that have the store. They can afford to do what they're doing now.
Yeah.
If that building was ever sold to anybody else, that similar type of business would not be able to exist.
Right, because they can't get the lease for cheap enough.
No, they couldn't pay. Well, they wouldn't be able to pay their own mortgage unless they were putting cash into it.
Oh, right.
Right? They wouldn't be able to pay their own mortgage. It wouldn't cash flow right. So I can see that the way that Monsters is going to affect downtown is, you know, like the storefronts are all going to change, and there's going to be a lot more money. Like when I went to Hawaii when I was little, it was very different than when I went to Hawaii when I was 17.
Oh yeah.
And even when my husband and I went to Hawaii to get married, we eloped there. It was the week after 9/11 happened.
Okay.
We went there to get married.
We have cheap flights?
2000 or 2000. No, it wasn't cheap. It was 40% return on your money, and like I had to pay to buy US dollars then.
Oh,
but just all the businesses there were very Japanese, high end, lots of money, like, you know. So as property values are going up, different kind of businesses are happening. And so I think we were talking a few times ago about how much money people make. Oh, for gambling, you're saying. About how much money people make and how can we live? How can we live anymore with people doing a job like you do, which is very valuable and necessary? But do you get paid the money that you need to live in this society that's costing more and more and more money all the time? So I want to live in a world. Monsters is bringing me to the world. I want to live in a world where we all get enough. And we all do a job that's important, and we all get enough to have our lives work too. Why can't everybody have their life work? Why do we have to have the ultra rich? I went to see this lady yesterday. Oh, I'm not going to let you talk.
Go ahead. That's fine.
I went to see this lady yesterday. She was a bra lady for after surgery.
Okay.
And she used to work in the corporate world, and she had an event that she did for these stockbrokers. It was cost a ton of money. She said the wealth was just immense, and she put her foot down at the request of, let's have some plexiglass on the ground and have scantily clothed ladies underneath, and we can walk over them all night long.
Man,
can you imagine? Can you imagine the kind of wealth that would, like, I think I want that. Like, excuse me, these are human beings. You cannot just put them under the floor and walk all over them.
That is. I can't imagine.
Right? So
I can't imagine.
Do I look like I'm red in the face? I'm like, I'm mad. I'm mad that people with money would do that kind of stuff.
Right. I can't imagine talking to someone who believes that would be acceptable. You know, like, that is insane to me.
I know. Thank you. I'm not.
On the flip side, if there's people that want to do that for work,
then why not?
I guess why not? But
true, if they get paid well.
That's right. If that's,
I don't mind lying on the floor playing my game.
If this is what they're signing up for, I guess they're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Do I think it's moral? No, I don't.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, if that's what they want to do.
Well, I think to be fair, this is going on a funny tangent. But to be fair, if we have men and women down there in scandal clothes, then okay, fine. You know, if it's a level playing field and we're not just having men above walking over women, You know?
Yeah.
Like, and again, you're right. Women can choose to do whatever they want and get paid for it, and that's fine.
Yeah, and there's probably certain very wealthy people that would be happy to have scantily clad men under glass that they walk over. So
exactly.
I mean, if they get people to sign up for it, I guess that's fine too.
The monsters brought us to this.
But it's a weird, that's such a weird thing. Can you imagine if they did that with animals?
Yeah.
Right. Like if you have a party or something. Like we have zoos and things. It's not quite the same as that. But if you had like,
well, isn't that exactly what the Crystal Gardens was?
A zoo. Or were
well, there was flamingos there. We had weddings.
Yeah, so I think that
captured.
I was going to say, I think that
like they weren't under glass, but similar.
That I think a zoo has a certain usefulness, particularly if they're doing their best to take care of animals, particularly animals that
have been rescued.
Have been rescued, or their habitats have been destroyed to the point that, or their populations are critical, like they're endangered or something, and we're going to try to help them to breed and eventually bring their populations back.
It's a fine line to
right,
have.
So that is. That's right. Yeah. So I think that a zoo managed in a certain way is great. Yeah. Right, and that the public comes in and they pay and they help to fund this important rescue effort. Let's say. Yes. On the flip side, you could go out and just
capture a bunch of animals
willy-nilly and treat them poorly and and that would be bad, right? And that would be the same thing, I think, if you had a party and you put a bunch of tigers under glass.
Right. But interesting that you say that, because I was thinking, like, I'm a farm girl. Kind of. I was a farm girl when we were little. Yeah. We had a chicken farm with 2,500 chickens. Okay. I thought it was 25,000. My mom said no, it wasn't that many. I was like, okay. So when I was a kid, things would die. Yeah. And I got used to things dying, and it didn't seem to be the end of the world, and it didn't seem to be anything that we needed to put heroic measures towards. So, So animals that are, I watched a video recently with this little cow, and people are like, look at this poor little cow here. And I'm like, okay, great. So, but if that cow's not being treated badly, if it's been given a comfy little spot where it's going to pass away on its own, that's one, like this, the whole world is like, you can stand on either side of the fence, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there wasn't enough heroic measures to do that. Then we have children, babies, how young a born baby is okay. Like if it's only 30 weeks, do we still keep it alive? 30 weeks gestation. Like, how do we get to choose these things? Like, monsters is an interesting topic we brought up here.
Yeah, when it comes to humans,
there's a lot of monsters in the human world.
There are a lot of monsters. I think that the efforts should be made to keep any infant alive, right?
Any effort? Like,
not necessarily any effort.
What if they're not going to turn out well?
I think
but then that's judging what does well mean.
Right. So, like I said, I think effort should be made, but I don't think that we should spend. I think things need to be done in wisdom and order. That we can't spend all our efforts as humanity keeping infants alive. That there's got to be some balance, and at the same time, I think the parents have to have a certain degree of say over it and be like, okay, well,
yeah. But then what if nobody agrees with their say? We're not going to talk about vaccinations here, but
right. Well, but like if you have,
that's another thing that some parents think they have a say over it, and some parents think they should have a say the other way. And like I'm okay with everybody's choices, and I think that if you're a wise parent, you will make the best choices for your children. And some people don't know enough to make a good choice.
Sure.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
And either choice you make could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's true.
Like, send your kids to school, homeschool them. I don't know. What should I do? If they stay home with me, I'm going to kill them because they drive me crazy. So then maybe they should go to school.
Yeah. Well, I think that we need to. Having the perspective that I do, that I believe in God and I believe in eternal justice.
Right.
In that,
so even if we don't get them here, they're going to get gotten somewhere.
Well, what I mean is if a parent is trying to do what they believe is right and is best, and something goes wrong, God knows, right? God knows where what they should have done based on what they knew. Yes. Right, and so He can be the judge of that.
Well, and right? Who knows if it's all set up ahead of time, and that. We have these choices so that you learn these things, and then you have to suffer loss, because how can you live life without having those feelings? I've lost lots of family members. Like, I am the last of my clan, you know, well, in my original family anyways.
Yeah.
And so I don't have brothers and sisters and stuff like that. And so I look at people like you got lots of brothers and sisters.
There's a lot of us.
And you don't lose anybody. I'm like, how does that happen? I only have one and I lost him already. You have lots and you don't have, they're still all here.
There's been death in my family, but not of the ones that you know.
Yeah, exactly. Not the ones that I know.